Alright, my username is Tennyson988. So I'm just putting up a video of my fish tank here. People have been asking to put a video up, since I do talk to a lot of other fish tank users out there. And so I have a 29-gallon Biocube. It probably has about 15 pounds of rock, a bag and a half of sand, and about 20 gallons of water, I bet, with all the displacement. Anyways, so what happened was about 3.5 months ago I moved to Sacramento and I lost most of my stock. I lost half my fish. Well, no, almost all my fish except the two clowns that you see swimming around. They're original. One is a bred in... One's just one of those cheap fish that you get from Petco or any kind of fish store, and the other one's actually a more expensive ocean fish. I had a pair. I threw away his partner when I thought he died. It turned out, I guess, some clownfish act like they're sleeping, and sometimes they snuggle against a rock. Anyways, I accidentally killed him by throwing him in the trash can. So that was my first mistake ever with the fish tank. And so they're still alive. They're a mated pair, and as you can see, I have an anemone in there. It's a stinging anemone, and that is their home. They actually hang out on that guy. He's kind of shy. There he goes. He's kind of shy. He looks like they're going to get fed here. They're not going to get fed. They got fed yesterday. I have a yellow tang. He's just kind of a renter. He's just hanging out because I had a hair algae problem, and he was really helping me out with that. And once he gets a little too big for my tank, I will just take him back and get a smaller version. It's kind of a bummer. I really do like keeping fish as long as they do live. But so that's all what I have. I don't really do much for filtration. I have a phosphate bag and a carbon bag, and that's about all I do for filtration nowadays. Oh, and then I have a screen, of course, to help get some of that crap out of there, the big objects and stuff. The water itself is a little cloudy right now. That's because I cleaned the front screen and the side, or the windows and the side, just real quick. I haven't actually scraped any of the bottom algae off in a couple of weeks, but all my real issues that I've had has really gone away. I mean, the hair algae and the cyto, and levels being off, and the whole 9 yards. Everything's really come together. So I definitely got growth going on again here. What I have for lighting is 4 36-watt bulbs. It's a upgrade kit to the Biocube. It comes from Nano Tuners. That guy back there is new. Anyway, so the upgrade kit worked really well. I did it myself. It took about a half day to kind of put together. I did a few modifications to it that they didn't recommend. Like I sealed everything with shrink wrap. That way there would be no corrosion on the wires and stuff like that, just to make it a little better. And so I'm going to get a better seat here so I can kind of zoom in. Oh, and one last thing that I do have on my tank that I have absolutely fallen in love with is, I'm going to try to pan down here, see if I can get it. Maybe if I turn night on. So down here I actually have a backup battery system. It's a 1500 UPS. Everything I have is on timers. You really can't see any of the timers except those. But I have a 1500 UPS. It really helps with batteries. I've had problems where there's been power outages and rolling blackouts. And because of that, this guy has kept my tank going. My fiance knows that if the power goes out, she needs to flip the 2 switches on top for the lights and just let it sit. It'll run the filters and the filtration system and the pumps and everything else for anywhere between 10 and 12 hours, I bet. Never tested it to full limit. The longest it's been on battery was 7 hours, and the battery's only made it about halfway. So I'm guessing 12 hours is a good estimate, maybe 14. Other than that, things are good. So I'm going to do a little close-ups here. I'll see if I can get some actual pretty stuff. I'm colorblind, so I find the colors that I have are kind of cool. Fiance makes fun of me for the colors that I get, but life moves on. So they're my clowns, kind of hanging out. See if I can get them to maybe head home. But anyway, so I got these guys. I'm really bad with names, not just like fish names, but all names for everything. These guys here, they made it through the move. They almost died. This whole rock was completely covered with a huge farm. It was to the point where I was ready to let it jump. The clownfish is a little pissed. He knows I'm videotaping, I guess. You can kind of see right here that I haven't scraped in a bit. That's okay though. Anyway, these guys here, they almost died in the move. But they look great. They're a lot of growth. If you get in there, you can see all the little baby ones and stuff. This whole rock was covered, like I said, to the point where I was ready to move it to a bigger rock. What I did with all my stuff is I really let it grow on rocks first, little ones, until I was established with them. And then I was just going to place them up on a rock and let them kind of jump off and spread from that point. So that's them there. And then over here, I have these guys. I haven't really found a good spot for them. They just kind of hang out in the sand next to each other. They're away from everything, and they really allow them to really come out, really stand up tall. And it's near the anemone, so the clownfish tend to want to use the anemone more than those. They used to try to house those. They've actually killed one in the past, and that was before they housed the anemone. Oh, so I'm going to get a picture of this. This is what I've been told a really rare pairing of clownfish and anemone, to the point where, you know, most fish owners are pretty jaw-dropped that my clownfish have actually housed this thing in an anemone. Now, you think that they would, but I guess the type of clownfish that they are and the type of anemone is, you know, rare. He's really good. I don't really feed him very often. I fed him yesterday for the first time in a couple months. The clownfish themselves really do a good job of taking care of them. I see him bringing them food. I see him cleaning them. He sucks on the little ends of his tentacles like he's in love, I guess you could say. And then back here I got some zoos that I'm trying out. They're doing so-so. Zoos don't seem to do so well. I don't know if it's me or not. All my levels are good. But they are growing. They're just growing slower than I would expect. And then we have, you know, these guys back here. They had a real problem. They were higher up, and then they got knocked over one night, and they fell right into the anemone, and so one side got burnt really bad. But they're coming back slowly. Everything takes time, it seems. And then I got my my grass up top here, and they're doing really good. I just moved them. They made it through the move as well with no problems. Everything from the move took a little bit to kickstart again, but once they did, they really came through. So he finished coming back, and you know, I moved him up there because I want him to kind of take over that top rock. And if you can, oh, too far, zoom in, there we go. As you can see, they're just now jumping off. Back up a little bit, there you go. They're just starting to come down there. You got little baby ones there. And if you come around to this side, there's a whole bunch of little babies that are going to push down and take over. So that rock is in, you know, progress of happening. I had a whole bunch of these guys. I absolutely love them. They're a little bland looking for some, but I think they're absolutely amazing. I love how they open and close. And you know, I'm letting them put there because I really want them to kind of take over that rock. And then I have some more zoos up here that which are not doing so well. They're just in a bad spot, I feel. We're just going to see. They're not dying, and they're not really shrinking or going away. They're just growing really slow. And then I have a mushroom up here that managed to land there and start his little thing. And I know it's a little close to the anemone, but he's below it, and you know, nature is what it is. And then over here I have some more zoos and a rock. This all came on a rock together. We were looking for something colorful, and we got this whole rock with 12 mushrooms and the zoos and the rock for 40 bucks. Manager's last day, he didn't care. He just hooked me up, and you know, he'll be missed. He was one of the most knowledgeable people there, and now there's no one left. So, and then I have my mushroom. He kind of has his days in and off, or on and off days. Right now he's looking good. You know, he's good. I move him around until he finds a good spot. He likes to be up high, but he doesn't like leaning against rocks. So, you know, it took a little bit of trial and error to get the setup. But now I have that set up, and he's doing really good. And I have a new addition. He's right over here. He's not really, you know, anything special for the reef, but he just is so damn cool, man. And he's like a helicopter in the water. He floats left and he floats right, and he just kind of stops on a dime. And he's really cool. I got him for 10 bucks. Can't complain. Needed a little bit more fish in there, but other than that, it's all the fish I have are those 4. I don't really want any more fish because then I have to worry about more filtration. And right now, you know, I'm not really trying to go for a huge filtration system. I'm just trying to keep it simple. And as the need goes up, I'll end up putting something else in the back of my Biocube. But for now, it's just what it is. I have a cleaning crew. I don't know, I bought about 20 snails, about 15 or 20 crabs, and I got one big shrimp, like a fire shrimp. He's his name's Napoleon. We had another one named Pierre, but he died. And I have 3 peppermint shrimp, and they really take care of everything. You know, with the cleaning crew that I have and the not overfeeding and the filtration, you know, all my problems went away. My cyto, my hair algae, all of it went away. And so the only thing I really do is 15 minutes a week on maintenance, which is scraping, cleaning, changing the filters if needed, but mostly just water changes once a week. And then once a month I really get in the back and get all the soot and the shit laying in the back on the bottom, and you know, stuff like that. I'm gonna get to these guys because these are one of my favorite additions, are these clownfish and this anemone. I've had the anemone since he was, you know, a 50-cent piece size, and you know, things have really come along. You know, that's all I really have for my tank. It's been slow going. I've been doing it for about 1.5 years now. Everything in this tank seems to take its time. I kind of wish I could afford an LED system, but unfortunately with a new baby in the world, you know, a Biocube lid with an LED is just not going to go. And you can't afford it, so you deal with what you have, and you know, you keep it going. And like I said, it only costs about 20 bucks a month for water, and you know, every once in a while you've got to buy a few extra things, but you know, for maintenance costs themselves, it's low and it's simplistic and it really works. You know, things are growing. I hope you enjoy. I'm going to let it run here for another couple minutes or 15 seconds here until I'm done. Thanks again. And you know, as things grow, maybe I'll make another video, or if I get requests or some, I might. Thanks again. Username is Tennyson988, and I wish you a good day.